This is the day that the Lord and we are making. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to the Unity Center of New York City.
Broadcasting live from the heart of New York City, featuring new musical guests every week, with a message and meditation from Reverend Justin Epstein, your weekly destination for a wholesome message and meditation. Welcome to the Unity Center of New York City.
One, two, 3, hey! Well, let's take it back to the old time way. Hey, it's a new day, it's a new way to get up. Get up, everybody, come on, get up now. You can clap your hands, yeah. You can put them hands together now. Come on, here we go. I got a feeling that everything's gonna be alright. I got a feeling. I got a feeling. Alright, be alright. I feel inspired that everything is gonna be alright. I feel inspired. I feel inspired. Be alright, be alright. I trust and I believe that everything is gonna be alright. I trust and I believe. Hey, I trust and I believe. Hey, it's gonna be alright. Be alright. Be alright. Oh, you know that I got a feeling that everything's gonna be alright. Hey, I got this feeling. I got a feeling. Hey, be alright, be alright, be alright. Hey, now do you feel it too? Do you feel it too? Come on. You can clap your hands, now let me feel you. Oh, clap your hands, let me feel you. Come on, sopranos. Yeah. Here. Alto. Let me hear you. Hey. Ha. Tenors. Yeah. Hey. Bass. Everybody, hey, it's gonna be alright. If you believe it, do you receive it? Or do you know it? Let me feel you show it. Come on, now put them up now. Hands up, body up, spirits up. Lift it up, keep it up, already alright. Already alright. How do you feel? How do you feel? I know I feel. I'm here to tell you it's gonna be here. Hey, it's gonna be alright.
All right. It's gonna be all right. That is a good affirmation and a knowing for us in this new year, right? It's going to be all right. Thank you to Arnae Batson, who's coming to us from California. Yeah, and also today we've got Eddie Watkins Jr. coming to us from Florida, and we have Sherry Hursey and Rick Cowling from California also with us today. So, Happy New Year, everyone. 2022, can you believe it?
Yes.
All right, one step at a time. 22. So, for those of you who are online, we would like to encourage you to feel free to comment below, and we'd love to interact with you online. And grateful for those of you here in the space with us today, where we have some one-on-one community time together. And just a moment, we're going to welcome Henry up to the front here, who has some community highlights for us. And she's also interacting with you folks online. We've mentioned our 10 for 10 that we've been doing. A generous individual has agreed to match every donation under 10 for 10 up to $10,000. And I'm happy to say that we are at about 9,500. It's gone up even more.
It's gone up. We're at about $9,800.
We're at $9,800. So thank you all who have supported that program. So we're $200 away from $10,000, which will be matched with another $10,000. So we've made it, folks. It's $200 away. So thank you for your support. So now let's welcome Henry, who's got some community highlights for us. Henry?
All right, thank you. All right, hi everybody, Happy New Year. Yeah, it's great to see all of you here. I think this is one of the larger audiences we've had like recently, so that is amazing to see all your, I'm assuming you're smiling faces. I can barely see with the mask. But hello to everybody joining us online too. Yes, please feel free to comment. I'm the one who's going to be responding to you today, so, say hello. I'll say hi back. It'll be great. Yeah, so new year, we've raised so much money. That is incredible. Yeah, if that's how we're starting off the year, let's keep it going. It's gonna be great. So one thing you can do to stay updated on all the stuff that we're doing at Unity is join our online presence. So you can go to YouTube and make sure to hit the bells to subscribe, and that way you'll be notified every time we upload a new video. This service will be uploaded as well. We have ones from the past that are being uploaded and are uploaded already, and we will be uploading some new ones in the future once they are filmed. You can also join us on Facebook. You can like and make sure to follow too, because then you will be notified again when we have new content. Now on Facebook, we've got the services that I mentioned earlier with YouTube, and there's also weekly meditations, daily inspirational quotes, all that good stuff. And of course, last but not least, you can join us on our website, unitycenternyc.com. You can subscribe to the weekly newsletter, make a donation, and yes, in the weekly newsletter, and you will have access to the videos, of course. And yes, and with that being said, today is a very special day. We're having our Burning Bowl celebration, and yeah, let's get started with that. I'm gonna welcome Justin back up here. Thank you all.
Thank you, Henry. All right, so we are going to be doing our Burning Bowl Sacred Stone ceremony today. And those of you who are here in the space, you should have received an envelope with white paper, a pencil, some flash paper. And if you haven't received that, please raise your hand, and our ushers will make sure you get that envelope. Okay. Those of you online, you're going to be doing this virtually, so we'll guide you in that process as well. So we'll all be looking at what do we want to let go of as we move into this new year, and then affirming and looking at what would we like to see unfold for us in this new year. And we're going to be doing that whole process together. All right, so Let's get rolling here with Eddie Watkins Jr. Lean Into You is his song for us today. So here we go.
Looking back on this life, I'm filled with gratitude. I've come so far, and it's all because of you. So I testify, each word is true. Every time I was tired of trying and about to break into, I lean into you, lean into you, lean into you. No matter what I'm going through, your love is what I hold on to. I lean into you, lean into you, lean into my God. On your rock I stand. All of the ground is just sinking sand. Every time my turn was taken, every time my world was shaken, every time I'd been mistaken, every time my heart was breaking, deep down inside, I always knew, some way, somehow, I was going to make it through if I just lean into you, my God. No matter what life throws at me, greater is that which abides in me. I lean into you, oh my God.
Eddie Watkins Jr., yes, lean into you. So that's what we're going to lean into, God, and we're going to lean into letting go right now. So this is the releasing part of our service today, and we're going to look at what do we want to let go of as we move in to this new year. You know, this ceremony is not a memorial, doing a memorial to the past. It's not to engage in wishful thinking for the future, but rather it's doing definite work in our consciousness, to a deep work, so that as we are transformed in our consciousness, then our life can unfold as it will in a beautiful way. So we're going to look at what are some of the things that maybe frustrating experiences we've had, maybe habit patterns that we've had, or attitudes of whatever they might be, impatience, or maybe there's some resentment, or whatever it is that's been sort of holding us back, burdening us, that we want to let go of. Maybe there was a difficult experience in particular that we had, maybe the end of a relationship. Maybe someone we loved made their transition. Maybe there's been a frustrating experience of some kind. Whatever it might be, what would you like to, maybe there's a lot of grief that we are still going through, and we want to be healed of whatever might be going on inside of us. So that's what the releasing is about. Now, we're going to symbolically, you've got some flash paper in your envelope, and if you need a piece of flash paper, we can give it to you. Online, you're going to be receiving a link that will take you to a place to write it down and release it. In a minute, we're going to do a meditation to start to open ourselves up to what is it that I'd like to release from my life. And it's not going to make it go away magically. It really depends on our consciousness, because it is a work of consciousness, right? And so it's not going to magically make it go away, but it will help us move into that place of greater freedom so that we can make progress. I know for years, when I was struggling with social anxiety or whatever it might be called, for years, back when I was in college, first year in college, a bunch of stuff happened all at once in my life. And for the first time in my life, I started to experience anxiousness and self-consciousness, and it was really a lot going on for me. And every year in the burning bowl, it seemed like a lot, I was releasing that thing. And as time went on, it got less and less and less and less. And, maybe I was still holding on to it to some degree. So it really depends on our consciousness. But this is a time to have that intention, to get clear on what do I want to let go of? What do I want to release? So let's prepare ourselves now to go into a time of meditation, and we'll ask Spirit to reveal to us, what is it that we would like to let go of? Because you're going to get a piece of flash paper, and on the flash paper, you're going to write a word or a phrase on that paper representing what you would like to release as you move into this new year. Make sense? Okay. Well, let's prepare ourselves now for meditation. I invite you to sit upright as is comfortable for your body. And let's take a nice, long, deep breath. And let your body relax. And know that right where you are, Spirit is. In God, you live and move and have your being. Spirit surrounds and enfolds you. Spirit is expressing in and through and as you. The transformation that we can experience today and in this new year is about definite work in our consciousness. It's not about trying to get Spirit to do something for us. It's not about trying to get God to do it for us. It's about releasing more of who we are. It's about letting Spirit flow more freely through and as us. It's about allowing Spirit, allowing God to be God. So let your body relax now. Scanning your feet and sending the message, relax and let go. Becoming aware of your calves and your thighs. Relaxing and letting go. Allow your abdomen and stomach to relax. Relaxing your arms and shoulders and hands. Relaxing the muscles in your chest and in your back. Become aware of your face, relaxing your cheeks, your eyes, your ears, your nose. The muscles in your jaw. Relaxing your neck, the front, the back, the sides. And for a minute or so, let's just center our mind by watching the breath as it flows in and out. Feel the breath flow in and flow out. And just bring your mind back to the breathing over and over and over. Centering yourself. And now taking a nice long deep breath. And opening up to your higher self, your true nature. Asking Spirit to reveal to you that which I'd like to release as I move into this new year. Are there certain attitudes or states of mind that have been holding me back? Is there some experience from the past year or maybe many years ago that I keep thinking about or keep talking about that brings my energy down? That I'd like to be free from? Are there certain attitudes, impatience, or maybe I'm overreactive to certain things, fear, whatever it might be? What would I like to be free from? What would I like to release? And when you're ready, those of you who are here in the space, you can take that piece of flash paper that's inside your envelope, and there's a pencil there, and you can write on that flash paper a word or a phrase representing what you'd like to release. And those of you online, for now, I'd like you to just think of, you're going to have an opportunity to write something too. for the moment, I'd like you to think of what you'd like to release, those of you online. Maybe write it down on a piece of paper, a word or phrase, what you would like to release online, and in a minute you'll be able to do it virtually. Yes. So, go ahead now and write down on your piece of flash paper what you would like to release. Okay. So have you all written down something on your flash paper? So what you're going to do is you're going to come forward and you're going to place the piece of flash paper in the flame. And as you do that, you might want to mentally think, I release whatever it is, and I let go. All right? So that's what you guys are going to be doing. Watch it go up in flames here. Poof! Gone. Those of you online, you're going to write in the chat the words, I release. So go ahead, you can put I release, and you'll see a place online where you can write in what you want to release after you click the link. So write I release, a link will be sent to you. You can write in the blank there what you want to release, and then you can click on the button I release. And that'll take you to the burning bowl, and that'll be your release. Okay? So Vanessa, you want to come up and you want to release something? All right. So Vanessa's going to be up here with us. You want to stand over here at this one, Vanessa? Okay, the ushers are going to release the rows, but while you're here, you can go ahead. That's fine. All right. Yeah. So the ushers are going to guide you forward to release. And while they're up here, let's send them positive energy and see them free. You got to use your flash paper. So you can come back up. Not regular paper, but flash paper. Okay, you all know there's flash paper. We're not using regular paper. It's the little paper in there. Good. We got two up here, so you can come up to both. You want to try again? Woo! All right. So you guys online, I imagine that you're writing I release in the chat. and then you can receive a link, and it'll take you to write in your thing, and then you can release online.
I release. Oh, no poof this year.
Oh, it burned.
It burned, but had a hard time.
Stand back, okay. Oh, let's try again. There you go.
I told you.
There you go.
I release.
That's okay. That's all right. Not a problem. Get the fire extinguisher. No.
Is this one going?
Yeah.
It's a team effort.
All right. Very good. Boy, some of y'all had some energy coming out of there, right? Those things are ready to get released. My goodness. All right, good. Everybody feel lighter? Feel lighter after that? All right. So, maybe you want to, if you feel comfortable in the online, if you want to write down something you released, feel free to. Just make sure you want to write it down. Forget that, because you've released it. It's done, right? We don't need to talk about that anymore. So, join with me in knowing this. I am free from the past. Well, you know what? Let's stand up, those of you who are in the space here. Maybe at home, if you want to join us. As a spiritual being, you and I are free. That's what the sages and saints tell us, that as spiritual beings, we are free. That's our true nature. I love that story of Houdini, who was the great escape artist. And he could escape in straight jackets. They'd put him underwater. They'd hang him up many feet in the air, and he could get out of anything. And I read that on one instance, there was a jail cell that was really difficult to get out of. And he accepted the challenge, and he was in the jail cell, and he was working on that lock all hours and hours and hours and hours, and he couldn't get it open. Finally, in exhaustion, he fell against the door, and the door opened up. They never locked it. It was never locked. And so the sages tell us, as spiritual beings, we are free. But we got to let go. We got to release. I am free from the past. Join me in knowing that together. I am free from the past, the mistakes of the past, the results of the past. I know the truth, and the truth makes me free. And now let us join Sherry Hursey and Rick Cowling singing, I Release and I Let Go. So let's remain standing and let's let it go.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all by myself. Did the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you got to let it all go, let it all go. And this is what you've got to say: I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggles, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
All right. We release, and we're ready to go now into resolution. Yay. This is the time where we want to be open to what is the good that is going to unfold through us in this new year. What would you like to experience in this new year? What is the good inside of you, tapping at the door of your heart, wanting to come forth through you? That's what this time is about. Now remember, it's not about trying to get God to do something for us. Right? I mean, it doesn't work to want God to make us prosperous if we've got negative attitudes. Right? Oh, I'm always broke. I can't pay the bills. La, 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 la. Oh, but God's going to make me rich. Doesn't work that way. You got to be in tune with Spirit. You got to let God be God through and as you. We've got to be the change, as Gandhi said, be the change we want to see in the world, right? Want more love in your life? We've got to be loving. So, we want to be open to the good that can come forth within us. That's where our faith comes in, right? What would you like to see unfold in your life in the new year? What keeps coming up for you that you would really like to be, what you would like to do, maybe what you'd like to have in this new year? Now, perhaps the greatest resolution, in addition to these other ones of what's trying to happen through me. And remember, Jesus said it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. It's not a matter of, have I been good enough? You know, it's not a matter of, is God going to do it? Is God pleased with me? No. What is it that is trying to happen through me? Perhaps one of the greatest resolutions is to learn how to be content and peaceful and happy in the present moment. No matter what's going on around us or happening to us. You know, that's perhaps the greatest spiritual growth we can have, because we're so conditioned into wanting people to be a certain way, wanting life to be a certain way, to look a certain way. And then we get anxious or frustrated or angry or worried if it doesn't look the way we want it to look on the outside. And perhaps the greatest resolution might be, part of our resolutions is to learn to be content and happy, and to look at the stuff that comes up inside of us in the moment and to be present to it. You know what I'm talking about there? When someone says something or does something or doesn't do something, and we start to feel irritated or angry or frustrated, can we be present to that in the moment and stay in that seat of consciousness, that seat of self that can observe it and watch it rather than react, rather than getting caught in our drama? So I just want to say that too, because I think that's the real foundation out of where the highest we can live in the moment. And then all these other things of what Spirit's seeking to unfold through us, that becomes icing on the cake. You know, our life isn't based on those things happening. You know, a lot of goal setting and a lot of New Year's resolutions are made by people who think, when I get this, then I'm going to be happy, right? And fulfilled. And I think those things are wonderful, but I love something that the late Eric Butterworth said. He said, yeah, goals are great, but don't let goals be preoccupations for tomorrow, but rather directions for today. You know, you have intentions and you have things you want to bring forth, and it gives you something to do for the day. It gives you a direction for the day, but it doesn't replace, let me be in that observer self each and every moment. Let me be present to the stuff that emerges within me so that I can be healed and whole, and I can find this flow of God presence in me in each and every moment. Does that make sense? That can be our greatest resolution. And so that might be something you write down. So, what are some of those things that you would like to experience more of in your life, that are coming from your heart, that aren't something you think you should do or something that other people expect from you? Some people are still trying to achieve what their parents want them to do, and the parents are dead and gone and moved on, and they're still trying to please the dad who's no longer on the planet. What is it that you really want in your life? So that's what we're going to write down. One of Unity's teachings comes from Emily Cady, who wrote Lessons in Truth and How I Use Truth. And she talks about desire. The word desire coming from the Latin de sire, of the Father, or to update the language, of the Mother, of the Spirit, of that core of your being. What is it that's tapping on the door of your heart? So we're going to have a little bit of a meditation time, and there are a few ways you can approach this. You can write a letter to God, to Spirit, on that blank piece of paper that you've received in your envelope. Now, if you're at home, I encourage you to get a blank piece of paper right now. It can be very powerful to write it down rather than to just mentally think it. See, because when you write it down, it's gone from the invisible within you, coming from an urge in your heart, through a thought, through your pen or pencil, onto a piece of paper. Now it's become a little more in the manifest realm anyway, and you can see what you've written down, and you won't forget it. So you can write a letter to God. That's one way. Another way, or your guide, another way is to write down 10 goals in the present tense as if they are already true. I am whatever it might be in the present tense, positive, personal. I am in a new loving relationship, whatever it could be. Could have to do with finances, it could have to do with weight, it could have to do with exercising, it could have to do with how you eat, it could have to do with anything at all. Another way to do this is what's called a future diary. If you were to go this date next year, or December 31st of next year, or this year, I guess, December 31st, 2022, you would write as if all the things that you would like to see unfold in your life has happened. You understand that? Future diary. I'm so grateful that I'm in a loving harmony. I've got wonderful friends. I'm healthy and strong, and whatever you want to put down there. Okay, so let's go ahead now. Let's have a little meditation time. You might want to pull out your white piece of paper now so that you're ready to write. And I'm going to guide you in this time of writing. Those of you at home, or wherever you might be, get your piece of paper, your pencil and pen. We're going to need to keep the lights up somewhat so they can see their paper, because it's going to be writing. Good. All right, let's take a nice deep breath. And again, just give the intention to your whole body to relax and to let go. Relax and let go. And we remember the truth. I am a spiritual being. I'm here by divine appointment. And Spirit is the source of all life, all love, all abundance, all joy, all peace, all healing, comfort. And the way shower and teacher, Jesus the Christ, said the kingdom of God is within you. The kingdom of good is inside of me. And I am now open and receptive to allowing that kingdom to unfold in and through and as me and into my life. As the Lord's Prayer says, on earth as it is in heaven. I let the heaven inside of me unfold through me. Through my thoughts, through my feelings, through my behavior. Onto the planet. So I invite you now to take that piece of paper and begin to write. Write down what you would like to experience, what you'd like to see come forth in this new year. Again, you could write a letter to Spirit, letter to God, or you could write down goals in the present tense, positive, personal. Or you could project yourself to December 31st, 2022, and write down all the great things that unfolded for you. Is there something a desire that keeps coming up year after year? Is there a desire that keeps coming back to you? That you keep wanting to get around to, but you haven't gotten around to it yet? Maybe a book you've wanted to write, a play, a business you wanted to start, a skill you wanted to develop. Maybe you'd like to be more peaceful. Maybe there's a habit that you'd like to develop in this new year. Daily prayer or meditation time. Maybe you'd like to have a regular habit of exercising. Maybe write down, how often would you exercise each week? What days would you do it? This writing exercise can be whatever you want. When would you meditate? Now you can work on this more at home, but we've got the juices going here. If you'd like, those of you who are online, before you fold it up, I want you to look at what you've written. Look at what you've written. And on your list of desires, goals, etc., and I want you to just open your mind now to spirit, to guidance, and just go right to it. Out of this whole list, instead of getting lost in your head, out of this whole list, what is the most important goal on there to you? What is the most important thing you've written down? For you, out of that whole list, what is the most important thing? I want you to circle that. Circle that. Again, instead of getting caught in your head, just what is it immediately? What do you sense, feel right away? Circle that one. Make sure that gets some attention in this new year. So those of you who are here in the space, if you want, you can give us that. You can put it in that envelope and give us your goals. And what we do is every year, we mail them back to you at the end of the year. For those of you who are online, we put our address in the chat box for you to send, to mail your desires, your goals. We're not going to look at them, obviously. We're just going to mail them back to you next December. Because amazingly, what can happen is you can get that back and you'll look at it and go, wow, look at the things that happened, and I didn't do anything more about it except write it down. So those of you who are in the space, if you want to, you can put it in the envelope and just drop it in a basket in the back as you leave. You'll see a basket back there. Joanne has a basket in her hand, big basket. You can put it there and we'll mail it to you next year. Or keep it with you. Keep it and review it. Maybe work on it some more. Clarify more what you'd like. Now, I love that prayer. Spirit, this or something better. This or something better. You know, it's easy to get caught, oh, I don't know if this is the highest thing for me or whatever. Well, move towards something, and this or something better is a wonderful prayer as well. Okay? Now, how many of you in the last year, if you did this a year ago, how many of you have seen some of the things unfold for you from the past year? Raise your hand. Awesome. Awesome. A bunch of you. Wonderful. And those of you online, how many of you have had some things in the past year after doing this? You wrote them down and they came forth. Yeah. I've told the story before. I mean, it's happened for a lot of people. But one dramatic example was in Bolo Bois, doing this very ceremony, wrote a letter to God. She was working on a book. She had been trying hard to get an agent, and she'd been communicating with different agents. And she, after doing this ceremony and writing this letter, she had the conviction in herself, I'm going for it. I'm going to make it as a published author. And 6 months later, she got a huge deal for her book. Huge. Went on to be one of Oprah's book picks, summer book picks, for her book, Behold the Dreamers. You never know what's going to unfold. Nothing like that big may unfold, but because you are, maybe one of your resolutions is you're seeking to be peaceful and content and joyful in each and every moment, no matter what's going on around you. Doesn't matter if whatever it is happens or doesn't happen, because you're in a place of letting God be God through and as you. And that's the joy of the whole thing, right? There's a Hindu term about God that this world is God's Leela. One of the interpretations of that word Leela is this is God's sport. It's God's sport. In sports, you have challenges, but they're fun. You know, they're fun. This is God's sport. We got lots of challenges. So our spiritual goal can be to learn to enjoy and to enjoy the whole thing, no matter what, as best as we can. So I'd like you to take that thing that you circled. Still have that in front of you? What is that most important goal that you circled? I want you to stand up. Let's stand up. Wherever you are. Those of you at home, get off that couch. Get off that computer chair and stand up. And I want you to bring to mind that most important thing that you circle. Can you see yourself experiencing that? What does that look like to you? How would that feel if you were experiencing that number one goal achieved and fulfilled? Jesus the Christ said, whatsoever you ask in prayer, believe that you have already received it. How would it feel if you already received it? How many of you are feeling joy as you think about that? All right, I want you to stand in a state of certainty that it's possible for you to achieve that thing, that experience that you're wanting in your life. Stand with certainty. I want you to look around the room and look at people who are standing with certainty. Yes. Are you standing with certainty online? Get up off that couch now. I see you. Get up now. Stand with certainty. Okay, good. Now I want you to double that certainty. How would you stand if you had double that certainty that this is possible for you? Yes. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel good? Yes. Now let's do something fun that in NLP they call anchoring. We're going to anchor that feeling. All right? You know when you hear a song from high school days or way back and it brings back memories, that song is that's anchored to the past. We want to create an anchor to this present state of mind. So on the count of 3, I want you to do something to anchor that feeling. It could be 1, 2, 3, yes! Or 1, 2, 3, yes! Whatever it might be. So on a count of 3, I want you to do something to anchor that feeling. 1, 2, 3, yes! 1, 2, 3, yes! 1, 2, 3, yes! Now stand with that certainty and feel that good feeling inside of you. We're anchoring that feeling. Yes, yes, yes. One of the words for prayer is yes, because God wants to flow through us in a positive way. Spirit, it's the Father's good pleasure to flow through you as greater life, as greater love, as greater joy, as greater wisdom, as all the good that your heart can experience. And so prayer is yes, yes. All right, thank you. Please be seated. Howard Thurman, author, philosopher, theologian, educator, and civil rights leader, said, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it." Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. So now let's hear Eddie Watkins Jr. from Fear to Faith.
Good morning, Unity Center of New York City. As we gather together, we move from fear to faith. We move from fear to faith. When we gather together to pray for the healing of this world and the dawning of a brighter day, we move from faith. We move from fear to faith. When we gather together to pray for the healing of this world and the dawning of a brighter day. We move, yes we move, yes we move, yes we move. We move from fear to faith. Ooh, yes we do. We move from fear to faith.
All right, Eddie Watkins Jr., moving from fear to faith. Yes. So, we've released things we want to let go of, claimed our freedom as spiritual beings, and then we've affirmed the good that we'd like to have come forth and to be in our new year. Now we move into Revelation. Revelation. This is our white stone ceremony. So you should have received a white stone in your packet. Those of you online, if you would like to get a white stone, you can still participate in this even if you don't have the white stone yet. You can find a stone in your house if you have one, or write down on a piece of paper, and you can click a link that we're providing you where you fill out a form and we'll send you a white stone. These white stones come from a quarry in Bethlehem. Jesus played with these white stones, I hear. So they're holy stones. And you're going to, they didn't have Cabbage Patch dolls or whatever back then. So you're going to write something on this stone. This ceremony is based on Revelation chapter 2, verse 17. Let anyone who has an ear to listen hear what Spirit is saying to the churches. To anyone who conquers or overcomes, I will give some of the hidden manna. I want some of that, don't you? And I will give a white stone. And on the white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it. So we conquer and overcome by mastering ourselves, by mastering our thoughts, by learning to be present to ourselves, learning to stay in that seat of consciousness, that seat of awareness, no matter what's going on around us or happening to us. Now, we receive a true name, a new name. Name in the Bible symbolically represents nature, a new nature. In the Bible, some of the characters, when they underwent some growth in their character, they got a new name. Abram became Abraham. Simon became Peter. See, because there was a shift in their consciousness, they became something new and they got a new name. So what we're going to do is we're going to get still and quiet, and we're going to open up to a new name. Not a literal new name, but maybe some new quality that you'd like to express or bring forth in the new year. Maybe there's some quality you'd like to focus on in this new year. Maybe it's contentment, maybe it's peace, maybe it's patience, maybe it's joy, maybe it's some other quality, creativity, spontaneity, whatever it might be that might want to come forward through you in a bigger, greater way for you. Maybe it's kindness, maybe it's generosity, maybe it's love, maybe it's something else. Maybe there's a role that you are wanting to wants to come forth through you. Maybe greater leadership in some capacity. Maybe there's some other role that Spirit is calling you to fulfill in your life. So this is a time to be open and receptive to what is Spirit saying through us. Because, someone's probably saying, oh, no, I'm too old to do some kind of leadership role, or I don't have the money to do any kind of different role or whatever. Got to put all that aside. Put all that aside. This is about Spirit. With God, all things are possible, Jesus said. With God, all things are possible. The things that are for you to be and do are possible. So that's what we're doing. The church is your consciousness. Your consciousness. So let's prepare ourselves now to open up to that presence and activity within us. Have your stone available. And what you're going to do is you're going to ask Spirit, what is that new name for you this year, 2022? What is that new name? What is it that is to be placed on your stone in a word or phrase? So let's take a nice, long, cleansing, deep breath. And we open ourselves now to the Holy Spirit, the whole Spirit of God, expressing as you. There is no separation between you and Spirit. This is what Jesus meant when he said, I and the Father are one. He meant that God is living itself as me right now. There's no separation. And so we are now open, receptive to that divine flow within us. Inspiring us. Spirit, what might that word be that we place on our white stone today? And when you're ready, go ahead and write that word on your stone, your white stone. And it could be, what would you like to come forth? Pretend, act as if Spirit is guiding you, inspiring you to write something on there. Maybe it didn't pop into your head, but what would you like to put on that stone? What quality would you like to express more of? What role would you like to play in this new year? Trust Spirit guiding you. And if it doesn't come now, perhaps it'll come later. Just trust. And those of you online, you can write it down on a piece of paper for now, or if you have a stone in your house, write it somewhere that's meaningful to you. or write to us. Click that link and fill out the form, and we'll send you a white stone. All right. Anybody want to share a word or a phrase that came to you? Or if you're online, put in the comments something that came to you. A role that maybe you'd like to play in this new year, or a quality you want to give greater expression to. Anybody want to share? Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I did, you know what, this word kept coming up, it just has been coming up, and I had to look it up.
Okay, a word I'm going to repeat so they can hear. A word kept coming up for you.
Yes, and I didn't know the exact meaning, and I just looked it up. The word is doyen.
Oh, okay, a word kept coming up for her, and she didn't know what it meant. Doyen. Interesting, and you just looked it up.
Yes.
And what does that mean?
It means a very well-respected person in
Oh.
whatever they're doing in their field. Whatever.
Nice, a well-respected person in their field.
Yes.
Awesome, that's a neat word, doyen. What language is that?
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh, cool. There you go.
Let me look at it again.
Yeah. Online, Linda said patience, and Marissa said vitality. Now, I'm not playing psychic now, so, you know, someone has told me that in my ear, okay? In case you're wondering, woo. Uncle Charlie just spoke and said patience, and oh, those are awesome. Vitality, patience, being, expressing yourself in such a way that you're respected in your field. Anybody else? Yes. Support. Okay, support. Support. To be supportive and to be supported. Support. We always have that divine flow of support inside of us. So what you can do now with your stone is, first of all, you've written the word in pencil. If you wrote a word, keep it with you. If nothing came today, that's fine. Keep the stone where you can see it to remind you, and then be open to what might come. Be open to a quality that you'd like to embody in this new year, or a role that you'd like to fulfill in this new year. That's fine. And you can actually take a magic marker and trace over the pencil if you want to, or some kind of colored magic marker. Another thing you can do is you can put the stone where you can see it regularly, and it can remind you of that quality that you want to give expression to, or that role that you're in the process of playing. Another possibility is to actually give your stone to someone else, a friend or someone else who can hold that quality for you in mind. They can know that truth for you. So that's another powerful way of using the sacred stone. Keep it somewhere that is a reminder for you. All right. So you can also repeat to yourself, I am, whatever the word is, supported. I am supported and supportive. Right? You can hold that in consciousness regularly, remembering, I am supported and supportive. Or I am vitally alive. I am patient. I am prosperous. I am strong. See? And then it's a matter of making sure to keep our thoughts, our words congruent with that which we are seeking to be. Of course, stuff is going to come up. And then we try our best to be in that witness state, to see it, to let it pass through us. We slip and we get back up, right? A slip is not a fall. You slip and you get back up. As Jesus told his disciples, brush the dust off your feet. All right. So we've released. We've gotten clear on the good we want to bring forth. And we have been open to revelation, to a quality, a role, whatever Spirit told us to bring forth in this new year. We'd like to take a moment for our prosperity celebration now. We're going to acknowledge Spirit's activity in our life and in the world. We acknowledge the good that's in our life. And we just want to thank those of you who have supported Unity Center in this past 2021. We appreciate your support, and we appreciate those of you who have participated in this 10 for 10 campaign. It's we're going to make it. We're going to make it. I think it was where we were $500 away at the beginning of this service. I trust that by tonight we will have made it. Is that we've made it back there? I hear that we have made the $10,000 10 for 10, which will then be matched by another individual. So that's $20,000. Thank you all so much for being part of that. Thank you. It's going to help us do more of what we do in a better way and to bring more and more content to you in a better way. Thank you so much for your support in that. So let's take a moment now. We acknowledge Spirit's good in our life, and we bless our gifts, knowing that divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. We got baskets in the back when you leave. If you want to leave something there, if you're online, there's a link there for you to donate as well. So now let's listen to Sherry Hursey and Rick Cowling, When You Believe, and we'll come back and we'll conclude our service.
It's a long road, and we each must find a way to set our fears aside and take a chance. And so it goes. In every generation, it's the strong who rise above their circumstance. When you believe in your mind, heart, it's there, and then you start to set your course. When you believe, you hold on forever to the dream that sets you free and makes you soar. Eventually, you will your destiny when you believe. In the dark night, you can never see the sun, but its fire burns brightly while you sleep. So it goes. It's the call of the universe to the ones who understand what can't be seen. When you believe, set your course. When you believe, hold on forever to the dream that sets you free and makes you soar. Eventually, you will your destiny when you believe. And when the odds say you will fall, or you face some uncertainty, with unrelenting will so strong, you go where you've never gone. And in that moment, a hero's born. When you believe, when you believe, in your mind and in your heart, it's there and then you start to set your course. When you believe, you hold on forever to the dream that sets you free and makes you soar. Eventually, you will your destiny when you
Thank you to our musicians today, Sherry Hursey and Rick Cowling, Arnae Batson and Eddie Watkins Jr. Thank you all for your music, sharing with us today. And also special thanks to all the folks who helped make this service happen today. Lucid Studios, thank you for your help. Stefan back there and all the folks on his team. Henry for hosting, and for our ushers and greeters back there, thank you so much for being part of our Burning Bowl. And thank you for coming here this morning. And those of you watching online, we wish you a very, very happy new you for a new year, right? And stay tuned, because we're going to be giving you messages on Sundays to help support you in bringing forth the highest good for you in this new year. So stay tuned for some upcoming seminars and Sunday messages to help support you in this whole process. I like to remember St. Paul in the letter to Corinthians, 2 Corinthians 5:17. So, if anyone is in Christ, meaning that divinity within you, there is a new creation. Everything old has passed away. Everything has become new. Join us in affirming the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yea, God. Amen. God bless you. Happy New Year.